This is my review for Dune 2. Uh, it's directed by Denis Villeneuve. Is that his name? I think it's Villeneuve. I want to say Villeneuve. But you know, Denny. It's not even Dennis. It's Denny. And so, the movie, he directed the first Dune. He directed Blade Runner 2049. His visuals, everything that he has, like cinematography, the sound design, he puts a lot of thought and a lot of effort into this movie, and I feel like he does an amazing job. I feel like he's done an amazing job with the series, and he's included a lot of the things that make it important. As you know, Dune, the first one is part one, and this movie is part two. This is part two of Dune. So the first movie ends with him getting to the Fremen. He meets the Fremen and he kills Jamis. I want to say his name is Jamis, who challenges him to a fight. He realizes he has to kill him in this combat, and it's a moment of something that he has to do. And the movie kind of ends there. He goes on with the Fremen, with Zendaya's character and everything, and this movie starts from where that movie ended. As I said, Zendaya is Chani. Timothy Chalamet plays Paul Atreides. Javier Bardem is in the movie as well. What is his character's name? I cannot remember his character's name, but he's the main. Stilgar. He's the main Fremen guy. Christopher Walken, who I love, is in this movie. He plays the Emperor. Batista's in the movie as the same Harkonnen general that he was from the first one. I think it's Stellan Skarsgård that plays the Baron of the Harkonnens. I hate his character. Hate him. Not because he's a bad character. Well, he's a bad character as in he's villainous, but I cannot stand him. Like, he's one of those characters, like, I can't wait for them to die. And then Austin Butler is in this movie. He plays Fade Rotha, who is the nephew of the Baron. And there's so many people in this movie. Florence Pugh, you know, one of my favorite actresses. She's in the movie as the Emperor's daughter. Rebecca Ferguson plays Jessica. I think her name's Jessica. She's the mom. She's Paul Atreides' mom. Also in this movie this is a star-studded cast. Anya Taylor-Joy has a cameo in this movie. I won't tell you exactly who it is, but she has a cameo in the movie. I was waiting for that for the longest. I'm like, oh, finally see her. Josh Brolin is in this movie as well. We all know Thanos and Cable fame, and other movies like Sicario and stuff like that. But there's just a star-studded cast from top to bottom. And this movie is, man, if you enjoyed the first one, there's a lot of setup. It's a lot of epic. It's a lot of build-up. If you enjoyed the first movie, you definitely will enjoy this movie. The movie builds upon what the first movie lays the groundwork for. So it's a lot of, you already kind of know what's going on. We have to finish this. There's some people talking after the movie. I haven't read the book. I don't think I'm ever going to read the book. I love Dune, but I don't know if I'm going to read the books. But the books it has a lot. There's a lot in the books. So a lot of people are like, there's a lot that was left out, but they did a good job with what they left in. So I feel like, for me, as someone who hasn't watched the books, both movies are phenomenal. I feel like both movies are fantastic. They are epics. That's exactly what they were going for, is them being epics, and I feel like they ended up being epic. I feel like Denny did an amazing job with these movies being on the scale of being an epic. Just the worms, and everything, the sand, the landscape, the sand. But the worms are massive. They are way bigger. They were a big part of the first movie, but they're way bigger part of this movie. The Bene Gesserit, the prophecies, everything that made the first movie amazing and good made this movie better. I feel like one thing they really did with this movie is they knew they had to ramp it up. They had to finish everything out. There was a lot of, like, when you see sequels and things like that, you're like, hey, I need to have action. It needs to be bigger. It needs to be better. They didn't do it in a sloppy way. And that's what I love about this movie. They put the same care and effort into this movie that they put into the first movie, but they improved on every aspect. There were some moments in the first movie that are big for the first movie, and then some of the things show up again in this movie, like the box, and they don't really show it because they've already kind of showed it. So they're like, we're showing you more, we're showing you new things. There's a lot of scenes that people were saying that from the books that were more fleshed out. Obviously, in the books, that's what usually happens. I feel like from the ending of the first movie, and you know what scene I'm talking about if you've read the books, but the scene from the first movie conveyed the message that the scene in the second movie didn't really have to flesh that scene out. I feel that way personally. Dune 2, man, if you like the first one, it's definitely one to see. The movie's 2 hours and 46 minutes, so it's 11 minutes longer than the first movie. I feel like the pacing is absolutely perfect for this movie. It didn't feel too long. The first movie, I know a lot of people were like, oh, it was too long. It dragged on. But the first movie builds on a lot of the ideas that the second movie doesn't have to lay the groundwork for. It can kind of bring its own new things and then expand on that first movie. I truly feel like this movie did improve on the first movie, and the first movie was fantastic, but this movie definitely did an amazing job. For someone who likes the type of movies like this, likes the cast, likes the actors, you'll be like, I'm pleased that this is part 2. And now I just wondered, I have to watch them front to back. Now I have to watch the first movie part 1 and then watch part 2 and see if they mesh together and they come together as one cohesive piece. From what I remember from both of them, I feel like they are one cohesive piece. I feel like Denny did an amazing job. I think they're wrapping filming on Dune 3. Dune 3 Messiah is what they call it. And I'm ready to see it. I'm here for it. I enjoyed the way that this movie not only progressed, but the way that it ended. It ended really well. It left you thinking, where are they going to go next? People who read the books will know. I just am curious how they're going to execute a lot of the things and the ideas from the books that I know, because Dune is if you look at the movie and you look at the sand and you're like, man, this is massive, this is vast. That's kind of how the books are. The books span a lot of ideologies, a lot of different concepts, from what I learned. I was watching a video when the first movie came out, and I'm like, these books are expansive. There's so much in these books. That's the main reason why I'm probably not going to read them, because there's so much in them. So I would say that for Dune 2, you definitely need to go see it. The action in this movie is amazing. Even for scenes that you knew were coming, they pale in comparison to scenes that are just in the movie. And then they execute them flawlessly. Everything's amazing. For me personally, my favorite thing is the Fremen. When the Fremen fight and they come out of the sand, the way that they come out and they're just running and the fighting, phenomenal. The romance in the movie, phenomenal. The story, phenomenal. The acting was phenomenal. Everything about this movie was just amazing. I loved it. I am definitely, the year just started, but definitely one of the best movies of the year so far. It's crazy that this movie's coming out in March. I saw it early, obviously. I saw it this past Sunday at a fan event. I was able to see it, but it coming out in November last year should have been a contender. We know how the Oscars kind of go, but upcoming Oscars, if you guys want to know my picks and everything, let me know down below. Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment. Let me know if you want me to do an Oscar video. I'll do an extra video and talk about what movies I feel should win and what movies were my favorite movies, and I'll break it down by each category. I'll do it however you guys want me to do it, but you guys gotta let me know. Once again, thank you guys for all your support. Thank you for the love. I'm trying to be more consistent, dropping videos more frequently, but you need to see Dune. Dune is, if you watch the first one, watch the second one. If you care anything about these movies, you need to watch both of them. Now you can watch one and then go watch the other one. You don't have to be mad about it being a part 1 anymore. But Dune, phenomenal movie. I have no complaints. I probably could find some flaws. It's been a few days. There's nothing glaring where I'm like, oh, I didn't like this about the movie. I enjoyed it. I'm ready to go see it again. You guys should see it as well. Like I said, once again, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and you guys have a blessed day or night wherever you are.